Alrighty, everyone. It is time. We're going to definitely get on with this video. So, yes, it is time and again is that we, on the other hand, are going to get straight to the video. So, before we do ever begin this video, is that once again, that I am Devin-Foxy Remastered again. And I just want to give you guys the news and give you guys the deeds and the good news and all other stuff is that looks like it's finally that we just finally beat Ultron Omega, which by the way is the good news, which I also can give a break from, at least to say the least. So, as I'm going to say this right now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This reaction is called A Human is Needed, pretty much known like video of the Saxy 2013. So before we do again react to this video, by the way, is please be sure to subscribe to the original person, the original creator, and support the original video. That way, again, you guys absolutely will not miss a single video that comes on this channel. And also, just as in for fact and as in for word that I want to say, by the way, is that I gotta say, I actually was very happy that I finally defeated Ultron Omega, which was about just time. It was just about time to beat him down and actually beat him to his only knees for him to surrender. Which, by the way, it was just that time of him to beat him exactly to lose. So yeah, that was good news. And for those, by the way, that were excited to hear that, then hopefully you did. But if not, that's fine. Like regular, that's fine to me. Which that just doesn't bug me. That's just fine. But that's fine anyways. So as I was just going to say, in fact, that, well, we do have like a few more parts left exactly. That's only going to be including either the DLCs or just a party. That has not with DLCs, which, by the way, those are still two remaining option points. That is either A, the DLCs, or B, it's just going to be a party, which for those, like I said in the last video, that yes, there will be a text box, which I'm not lying. I'm still saying it's 100% positive that I will at least add a text box to kind of explain the details of however. And yes, in fact, I'll at least try to do a, just to show you guys the screenshots of what the DLCs definitely looked like exactly in the game, which in fact I did try to keep looking on search to search, but at least I did my best, so don't blame me if I say I try at least my best to find the characters of what they look like. It just isn't my fault, it's just how most likely anywhere else it just is. So, that's the point of it, and that's all I want to explain from there, so thank you. So, with that being said, let's just get on with this reaction called A Human is Needed. So, with that being said, in all ways, that, yeah, this video is going to be a bit interesting or two, which for me, I'm just going to probably just say is like, I'm just going to kind of stay in the middle and see where this goes. Which, by the way, I'd probably say I'll be in the middle, and then in this one, just be in the middle. So, there you go. So, anyways, let's see how this video will turn out. And yes, again, please subscribe to the original person. That will actually help, and that will mean a lot exactly. That would actually be appreciated. So, with that being said, let's react to this. And oh yeah, I probably will explain from here and there, and I probably will just say the fact that, well, I'll probably say everything else in the end while I finish this reaction. But, this will just be an explanation afterwards. So, that being said, let's do this in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Let's see how this will go out. Yep, Half-Life 2. Yep, there they are, the ones from Half-Life.
Will you look at that?
A human is needed.
Well met.
They're literally talking. That's funny. I literally find this funny when they're actually talking, which also, here's a reminder and a quick fact, by the way, that I want to let everybody else be understood, by the way, is that, well, the only thing I'm ever going to say right now is that, yeah, I think they've actually been talking since Gmod and Half-Life at this point, since I think they've been talking like that. Which also, don't get me wrong about Gmod, I probably am still making like an interesting dialogue if I ever assume to say I will. At least I'm not sure how am I going to make another project or something like that. Which, trust me, I actually can't believe I remembered about these two unknown characters of these aliens, which, yeah, it really brings me to a fact that it brings me back all the way when it was like, I don't know, back in the 2000 teens or something. Like, it just reminds me back when it was just like, pretty much with me versus the zombies, or was it just a little different? Which I probably say I couldn't remember back then, but I think I've remembered at this point in time that I just found out by the way where I was gonna like, oh, that's how I remember these interesting Gmod ones I've been doing, considering in the past that I probably did. So all I gotta say is that, well, I figured out and said, I was like, I actually was thinking of something too while I was thinking about this a little more differently in my only head of mine, and just say is like, guess I have not faced the good guys before in Gmod. Which, that's a good question. I've really never faced those characters in Gmod anyway. So I decided, I was like, guess what? I guess I might have to figure this out a little more different and complex. Which I think that might be a little different route. Which I think I could say it's a different route, but it will be a different little bit of a reminder to think about that question and say is like, okay, well, I guess I'll like think about that idea and start with like me versus the good guys in Gmod, which I did me versus the zombies in Gmod. Now me with the bad guys in Gmod, but now the third one is the good guys, which I think I'll have to say that it's still again related to Half-Life and stuff, which I think that's still related. So yeah, guess that's the only thing I can ever say at this point, which no, I've not faced the good guys in Gmod before, but I still will give it a try, even if I'll still, like, think of the idea of being positive, which I say it will still be open for the table for me to decide what's like, alright, guess that will probably make a working good progress in how I could probably do all that, which that would be pretty based. That actually would be very based. And the only good thing is I don't get to do parts, by the way, at this point, which I say is like, hell yes. I'll be that happy to see is hell yes. You know, without doing any parts, by the way, which I think I can still do a full, like, video exactly on, like, me versus the good guys in Gmod, known as Gary's Mod, which that's probably the point. But it's going to be me and a single player as myself that I would play as, like, alright, let's see. Let's see how this will go out for me to see where this plays. So I decided, like, all right, that's fair enough. So that's probably it. And with that being said, let's resume back the video and continue the rest of this. So I probably won't interrupt any more interruptions while continuing this video. So continue.
Well met, partner.
Of course, there's going to be one coming around. Yep, I think that is right there.
Protect us! Ah, shucks. We need help! Come on, fellas.
Oh, here we go.
Hurry! Cowboy up!
Damn, almost got one right there. Wow, almost got one right there. For a positive note, I probably want to point out for this too, exactly, is that, did you guys notice that the big thing, by the way, I don't know what it was, I think, it almost literally got one of those guys right there while they were running, while they were following the so-called blue engineer, their helper, is just trying to lure them away from that big monster. So I guess I should say and call it is how that's going to be what's gonna happen, I guess. I don't know. Continue.
Whew! Nice job.
Likewise, it is good now that we work together. Well done.
That's nothing.
There is no finer companion.
You're all right, partner.
Alright.
Beware!
Huh. At this point, it's literally a scanner. I don't think a scanner is ever going to probably kill someone at this point. I think the scanner is more likely a distraction than more likely just trying to do anything. Which I know it might explode right at the person's face, which I think I know it's going to do that. Which the fact I can say I find this funny right here is exactly right there. I think it's just going to get hit and just go like kaplooey. Or just go kapow for something like that. So I wouldn't be too surprised if that scanner had something like something around its back or something, but I don't think it's going to do anything as much, so not going to do anything as much. Just saying. See?
Excellent shot.
Exactly.
Well, that was easy.
To our honor, we follow you.
That's what I just said. Exactly. Wait. Oh, one of
Under attack!
those.
Our condition is grave.
To the right!
Save yourself!
Get going!
Well, guess we're going to see how this will turn out. Oh,
Damn it! Ah! I'm gonna lay you out!
oh, right on its back. Well, let's see. Wait a minute. Wait a second. What's really happening right here? Oh, hey! Yep. Well, I guess the only one that was still there, huh? Well, that was a little unexpected to hear. A little unexpected. And there goes the blue engineer. Just about to kind of pass out or just die, unfortunately. And there he goes. Yep, which, like I said, I think I have to say this entire video was a bit interesting at the least. So, anyway, let me just go ahead and just say a few things before then here exactly is that this video, I have to say it's just been quite of an interesting video, an interesting take. And I think to find this interesting that two of those aliens are even back to return at this point, which that's interesting. Like, okay, for one, by the way, do they even sound the same? Which I think they sound the same characters ever since in Half-Life, which I think they sound the same. As I can hear from Gmod a little bit, which I think it compares to Gmod a little bit more similar, as I can say it. I think it just reminds me a little similar that I was like, wait, have I even seen these faces before? Have I like literally seen these faces ever since from Gmod? And then it tells me the only answer is that yes, I think it tells me the same answer in Gmod. So that surprised me right there. Like the only thing that ever surprised me right here was that it was like very interesting that I have never knew about that, but interesting indeed here. So like always and likewise, I hope you guys in fact enjoyed this video. And for those who are actually wanting me to do like another project, which I probably am still working on regardlessly about the project with me versus the good guys, which I think the one problem is, by the way, is that I have to say it's gonna kind of have like a different default problems, with me dealing with the project itself, which I think I have to be the only one selecting a Gmod map that I probably would have to select anyway by my own self to regard. By the way, is that the project itself is going to be a little bit different and a little bit more tricky by actually doing the project. Which, for those I probably will do the project, that there is like a few facts of numbers of 5 facts I might have to say for myself with the 5 things that could work on the project. However, it's just going to be the only time I'm going to do it, so it's not like I'm going to do it now. It's only going to be like when it's going to entirely happen, which I'm not saying it could happen now, later, or even like years or anything. It's only just going to be a while of a long prediction of having like the only choice that I have to select differently with only 5 facts. So, here's the first one of the facts. So, the first one I have to say is that, well, number one is that I have to try at least to find a different map, which I know I've been like pretty much been on like similar maps. Like, say for example, I've been like doing like the city mod at Gmod exactly, which I was doing with the zombies back in the day. I think it was just back in the time when I was playing Gmod of the versions of the parts I've been doing. Like, I think I've been doing those from part 1 from 3 that I've been recently doing for those, like 1 from 3. And then, of course, for the exact sample, I've probably been doing like, the abandoned one. I think it was like all fiery exactly, which I think that's what the other one was. So, to make this more somewhat different here, is I might have to select another Gmod map, which will only have to make things a little bit more different. Not difficult, but different. That, as I'm gonna do on the first fact of me versus the good guys, only in Gmod, which, for example, I might have to do anyways in that regard. So, yeah, that's just what I want to let everyone be honest about and understanding about that question. And of course, fact number 2 is that, well, here's the second fact. Well, the second fact, by the way, is I might have to only consider being aware from, like, I don't know, just being aware of, like, annoyances or exactly distractions, which I think, by the way, I have to try at least to deal with, like, the sounds of not being, like, in the background. Like, for example, it's like the area I'm doing exactly while being on, like, the computer room exactly, and just doing regular Gmod, which I think the problem is, by the way, is that A or B, I might have to try to be aware of the annoyances that comes from, like, I don't know, comes from the inside or near outside of the point, which it has to depend on the volume level for whatever this goes exactly, which I could try at least being aware, but it's just gonna kind of be annoying at some points where I'm just gonna have to, like, not be the one to be a yeller. I'm just trying at least to make like regular recording as I'm doing exactly, which I tried still doing so, and that's just what I've been doing at most of all those times I've been doing. And anyways, here's the third fact that I actually will be aware of exactly, is that here's number 3. Is that number 3 is for, like, I have to be aware of like the crash exactly whenever it's gonna like go on with the PC on like computer exactly, of course, is that I have to just be aware of like the crash out exactly and avoid the errors, which I think the problem is I have to probably like might probably have to disable like a few things on like the ones on Gmod. I might have to disable, which in fact I'll still keep them, but still disable them while making the project, which it's still going to give me a hard time just to kind of have the project being ready of like, without having any problems or any difficult faults exactly, or any reason that's going to be negative. Then that's all I got to be aware of, if like that's going to be necessarily, which I try at least just to be very aware as I can without like things just like, not kind of destroying like a few bit of things that might kind of ruin the project, which I try at least being independent as I can just to make the project happen, which I still, again, to this day, keep being aware of how I'm going to make the project happen and make that work. So that's just the few facts I've been trying to been doing. And here's the fourth and fifth. So the fourth I actually will say, in fact, in regard, is that number 4 is that, well, here's what I'm also going to say is that number 4 is that I have to say what number 4 is going to be of the facts that, well, at least number 4, well, let me say this for a minute, is that number 4 is that, well, for however exactly, is like, if there's, like, gonna probably be, like, a different, like, distraction that would be number 4 that probably might ruin a few different things, then all I'm gonna probably do is just get a sticky note and write the recording sign is just do not bother me, because however I just don't like being distracted or getting bothered by things that comes from like my area space or like my bubble space that just comes around from the space that kind of like not trying to ruin the video of the project of Gmod. That's the point. And here's number 5. Is that for number 5 is that if everything else stays 100% perfect, then that's when I might pretty much be appreciated and be very happy to see how that will play out. Which I probably say it will make me even happier just to have the project even finished at this point. Of just saying is like it'll probably be me versus the good guys in Gmod, which I think technically this is just only going to be the Half-Life version of the good guys, which I think that's going to probably take the fact of the matter. It's going to probably just be so. And yeah, I don't know how am I going to do so with like seeing where this is going to play out with me like trying to play as a villain, which I think it's going to be a Combine thing. I think it's going to be like Combine versus like, or should I say Combine versus like the good guys, I assume. Which I think for me, I just want to be aware without getting like killed or anything, because that's the problem exactly. Is if I hit V or pretty much hit something that might not work, then I might probably get screwed again, because I might screw the whole project, because I was like, yeah, I don't want to kind of get screwed around or kind of get like, want exactly to keep failing on different like fails, because at this point it's not about like me siding with the good guys. It's only like me siding with the villains only. That's just the point of it, which, yeah, dude, I just have to be aware on those because, yeah, that's just the problem. And also, here's like the tip of the release date I might be releasing soon with like me versus the good guys. I think it will probably presume to be is like either November or December of that video of the project. I think it will come to the project with like November to December, I will say, or maybe even earlier, or like maybe late exactly, which I'm not expecting it'll be on time or anything. It only will be expected just to be on one of those stamps, because due to me, I have to probably like do all the 5 facts I might have to just try to do 100% without like the game crashing or just like having it froze or just having a different issue. Because trust me, because when it just freezes, I just have to be the one shutting the PC off the whole damn time, and it'll actually just keep ruining the whole shot and stuff with everything else with it. So that's just what I might have to do exactly. And even though things might be a little bit more trickier with me in the present time with like me versus the good guys in Gmod, then it's just going to be a little more trickier and be a little bit preposterous. So that's just the fact for some people that I want everyone else to be understanding is that however the project that needs to be done, then it needs to be released either November or December or just 2026, regardless. So there you go. And I think that probably will be the fact of it, and that'll probably be it right now. So anyways, hope you guys enjoy your day and hope you guys enjoy this video of your night and hope you guys enjoy this reaction. And what do I kind of give this video out of? I give this video an interesting number, to say it the least. Is an completely of a 9 out of 10 of this video, which I think I will say this is a 9 out of 10, which even though I have to say I'll give this a 9 out of 10 because I just didn't recognize what the characters even looked like back in Half-Life exactly, of the 2 aliens that showed up out of nowhere while Blue Engineer was kind of looking at the moon for some reason while he was just drinking the root beers or exactly whatever he's just drinking. But all I have to say is that I never noticed that I never saw the faces ever again by seeing 2 of the same aliens but have like a different look exactly, which I think they sounded much likely the same. And also, here's an aftermath question. Did those two aliens ever escape, by the way? If, like, for example, this is just an interesting dialogic question, is like, did the other aliens ever escape, or were they just killed by the same one? However, they killed the blue engineer for this one after when the moon was just up there. So, yeah, and also the interesting fact, I love the fact when it just becomes realistic of this video. It's just very interesting. Like, very, very interesting. So, I gotta say that this whole thing is interesting. Not bad, but interesting. So, like that being said, and always, as I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys have a good day, and hope you guys, in fact, enjoyed a very amazing day. So, anyways, that's just what I want to say right now. And also, don't forget that there will be a live stream coming up soon that I actually will do a live stream first. And then, of course, will be another YouTube short will be second. And just remember, I'm only giving a break a little bit from the game of like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite that was only supposed to be for me to defeat Ultron Sigma / Ultron Omega to have him be defeated and done. So that's just only for the arcade version. But there is going to be a CPU version. I'm going to play the game without pretty much dealing with like the same character of the main antagonist that pretty much just wanted to be a so-called of a false god that I was trying to defeat anyways. So that's just how I want to do things exactly for right now. Is just consider to deal with is like, I don't know, just consider saying this is that, well, it's just going to be a CPU version, if or however, that's going to be a bit somewhere differently. So, anyways, that's just what I want to point out for now. So, like that being said, and always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and for much more. So, with that being said, I'll say this once again, is that I am Devin-Foxy, Remastered again. And like always to be said, and very much like we always, is hope you guys enjoyed the video. And for much more, I'll see you guys again, absolutely, in the next video. And yeah, so don't forget part 12 is either going to be is going to be the DLCs, or it's just going to be or it's just going to be B is just the party, which I think the party is just going to be the last one to deal with anyway, and then wrap the whole thing up exactly, and then do another gameplay that's going to be the third Wario's game that I'm going to be taking on the Haunted Mansion, which that's going to be very spooky. So, anyways, just want to give you guys a bit of a loop and just understand what I'm talking about. For those who do or don't know, then yes, I'll still zip my mouth as for exactly, which I'll have to say that it will still come up to be next. So, anywho, I will say this, is that once again and always, my name is Devin-Foxy, Remastered again. And the 4 things you guys gotta do is like and comment and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified. Anyways, like being said, I'll see you guys absolutely in the next video. So take care, everyone. Have a great day, and I'll absolutely see you guys in the next video. So take care, have a great day, and I'll see you guys absolutely in the next video. So like that being said, I'll see you absolutely in the next video. Signing on out. Peace out, goodbye, and we'll see you guys for the next video. And like always, the stream is going to happen somewhere soon around this October-ish, that it might happen anyways for the stream to be soon, which, I'll have to find another thumbnail again, So, yeah, I will have to find another thumbnail again. And, of course, the YouTube short I will do exactly will still be another WWE thing, and then that'll probably be all for that right now. And then, of course, well, I'll still give myself some time while that will probably be the occurring decision of me thinking a decision of seeing where this is going to play out or something like that. So that's just pretty much it. So with that being said, and no, I have not forgotten about what I've just said exactly in the last video, or maybe currently this video, for example. So anyways, I'll see you next time. Have a great day, and I'll get going for right now. And for example, I'll see you next time, absolutely, in the next video. So, signing off. goodbye. And this is Devin-Foxy Remastered again. We'll see you absolutely to the next video. And then, of course, to the next stream. So anyways, see you next time. And I'll see you guys soon enough for the next time. And always, very much soon and wise for the next time. So, see you next time. And I will probably get off for long exactly. And we'll just sign off right now. So anyways, see you absolutely next time. And yeah, so continue for much more amazing stuff along the way, and hope you guys enjoyed it. So take care, sign off, goodbye, and see you guys, and see you folks for the next video. Goodbye, everyone. See you later, and signing on out. Later and goodbye. See you later. See ya, sayonara, and see you guys next time. Bye bye, everyone. See you later.